Hello all benders and non-benders, and welcome back to Avatar Generations, and today we have the brand new Imprisoned update, starting of course with a brand new 14-day reward situation here. We do have a nice pile of nature stones, always good. After a week we do get 3 of the event summon tickets. And then towards the end, we get a relic ticket, a support ticket, and a nice healthy 5-piece chaos tickets. Always good stuff there. Gonna pick up my energy here, always good. And now, we have quite a lot to take a look at here. Starting, as always, with our quests. We do have 2 new pages here. First of all, we have Solitary Confinement. Now this does have the Burning Coal event currency here, and then as you go through, you'll notice it has a lot to do with Earth Element heroes. Pretty given there. We do have clearing any stage of the Earth Elemental quest, clearing some training grounds, that will give you 25 nature stones 10 times for a total of 250, always good. Battle using Earth Element heroes, always a good time there. This does count per Earth Element hero. So if you do have more than one, that will apply to getting these quests done faster. Looking through here, you can get some handy dandy ascension materials there, always good. We do have earning skip tickets. That's very easy, you kind of do that just in general. Basically we have some ticket refunds here for spending summon event tickets. You can actually get basically 5 tickets back when you get up to 20. So nice stuff there. Basically, like I said, basically for 20 you get 5 back. And then completing adventures with Earthbenders. If you go through all that, you get some of these mind materials, some mind meditation beads of the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star variety. So pretty straightforward, honestly. Nothing too crazy, nothing too difficult. I was about to say nothing too difficult like winning arena battles, but with characters like Kyoshi in the mix, winning arena battles with an Earth Element hero is really not that difficult, actually. Yeah, honestly, really not. But we also have the Imprisoned quest. This is the standard month-long event that gives you summon tickets, Peace Chaos tickets, and a skill token. So, take a look here. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular summon tickets. That takes you through completing 35 of the quests. And then you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Peace Chaos tickets when you get to 150. And then, of course, the coveted skill level token when you get to 200. Good stuff there. If you haven't already, you do still have about a day. It'll be a little more like 12 hours at the time of posting to complete some of these summer festival events if you have not already. But that is what we have there. Now, of course, we want to take a look at the event shop here because we do have the event currency here, Burning Coal, and you will use that in the shop. We actually have a new 4-star relic here, Haru's Box, usable by Earth and Rebel. So you basically have to have an Earthbender who is also a Rebel. What this will do here is you gain 8% focus when the caster receives a crushing hit. That is basically when the gold text appears. It's not quite a crit, but that's basically what that is. And a 50% chance to gain evasion for 2 turns when you receive a critical hit. So if you're taking extra damage from a crushing hit or a critical hit, you have a chance at getting some bonus effects there. Not bad at all. You can also get 5 summon tickets, get some energy, get some skip tickets, and get some food here. Very simple, very helpful. If we do take a look here, of course you have the Haru bundle here if you cared for that sort of thing. If we go to the summon shop, you'll actually see that you can get the origami flower and the cabbage cart at a discounted price for the 4-star legendary coins that you get from duplicate heroes. I would personally recommend, if you don't have it already, the origami flower is very effective. Being able to increase your defense for a turn when you enter a positive stance, very, very helpful for earthbenders. Just, a little food for thought there. If I'm correct, we don't have anything new here. I don't believe we do. So that is what we have. Now there is one more shop that we want to take a look at here, and that is the arena shop, because we should have some brand new items here. Oh, they actually still have Sokka in there. I thought he was leaving, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he might even be in there for another day, actually. First of all, we do have Prisoner Haru. Prisoner Haru here is an offensive bender who becomes enraged as his allies are harmed. So kind of an interesting little thing there. Of course, I don't have a copy of him right now, but we might get that in the future. Next, and I didn't expect this actually, but we have ourselves a 5-star relic in the shop here for outlaw characters, which there aren't a huge number of, but a relic's a relic. 50% chance to remove buffs and positive states from all enemies if 2 or more debuffs are present on any target when the caster attacks once per turn. So basically, when you attack, if one of the enemies has 2 or more debuffs, then this can remove the buffs and states on all the enemies, if I'm reading this correctly. Of course, it is only a chance, but that chance will go up on tier ups. Very interesting that they put a 5-star relic in the arena shop here, especially if you're doing pretty well on coins. This can be helpful if you do happen to have an outlaw character. Now, of course, there aren't many. It's pretty slim pickings when it comes to outlaw characters, but just kind of something to keep in mind there. Something to keep in mind. Shouldn't have anything new here. No, we do not. So let's take a look at, of course, the summons. Brand new summon here for Haru. First of all, as you can see immediately, he is an earthbender and a mind character, and he does have the 120 pity. So after 120, you are guaranteed to get a copy of Haru. But let's see what we have a look here. We have Haru, we do have a 5-star relic, and we actually have a new 4-star Katara that we'll get to here in just a second. But first things first, the man of the hour here. We do have Haru. He is a rebel character, and he's also an invasion force character. We haven't had a lot of these characters since the beginning of the game with some 4-stars, but that basically means that he took part in the battle against the Fire Nation in Book 3, Day of the Black Sun, that's what it was called. But let's see what he has here. First of all, we have his basic rock shots. Deal 2 hits of empowered damage to one enemy and gain a random offensive buff for 1 turn each attack. So basically, you deal the empowered damage, which means if he has buffs, these attacks will do more damage, and then each hit will grant you a buff. So basically, 2 buffs. You get 2 buffs for 1 turn when you use this attack, unless for some reason, like your first attack actually puts down the enemy, you'll get the chance to use your second attack, in which case, things are going well for you already. Then we take a look at his advance here, Palm of Earth. Deals force damage to one enemy. This removes 2 buffs from the target, and this will ignore resistance. So pretty nice stuff there if you want to get rid of some buffs. And then increase the turn bar of all allies by 10% and grant them increased attack for 1 turn. Gains an extra turn when attacking targets that are above 25 HP. This is interesting because it is a combination of an enemy disruption effect by removing their buffs, and then a pretty noteworthy team support attack by increasing the turn bar and granting that increased attack, and then the extra turn with an extremely easy condition to meet. As long as the enemy's over 25%, he can then follow up with this attack, or something else that we'll see very soon. Very, very interesting stuff there. I'll be curious to play with. And then his passive here is Concentration. decrease focus generation of the enemy team by 5%, and increase focus generation of all allies by 5% when they attack. Basic skill becomes full force and increases his turn bar by 50% when the caster's HP falls below 50% for the first time in battle. So basically, he wants to prevent enemy combos, he wants to help ally combos, and then if he goes below 50%, he kind of enters a bit of an end rage state where he gets a brand new basic skill that we're going to look at in just a second here, and then increase his own turn bar so he can get to that basic skill nice and fast. So let's take a look at that basic skill, shall we? We have Full Force. Deals empowered damage to all enemies, decrease turn bar of enemies by 10%, and increase turn bar of rebel faction allies by 20%. This attack cannot be countered. So, it's an AoE, first of all. If you do happen to beat that resistance check, you can decrease their turn bar, and then increase the turn bar of fellow rebel faction allies by 20%. To just name a few rebels, a lot of pirates are rebels. In fact, I think all of them are. Kyoshi Warrior Sokka is a rebel. The Boulder is a rebel. So we have some options there that I'd be very curious to see how well he works with. Definitely some cool stuff here. I'll be curious to see what his actual damage translates to. Being a mind character, it can be a little hit or miss, kind of depends. But some cool looking stuff here. Now, if we continue taking a look through here, we do have Imbalance of Power. Heal for 25% of damage taken. So basically a slightly better Statue of Kyoshi effect. And then transform each debuff on the caster at the start of their turn into a random 25% stat increase for 3 turns. Now this is interesting. First of all, it has the very hefty requirement of needing to be an Earth Kingdom citizen and a mind character. That right there will immediately kind of limit who can use this, but does not make it worthless. Has the Statue of Kyoshi effect, which is already enough to make this noteworthy. 25% of damage taken is nothing to sneeze at. Defensive characters have been using that for a nice long time now, since basically day 1. And then transform each debuff. Basically, this will cure all debuffs on the holder of this relic. And then he gets a nice stat buff, or I should say whoever's using it gets a very nice stat buff that actually goes up depending on your tier. 25%, I assume that'd be like 25% to either attack or defense, or maybe even crit, maybe action resistance. It doesn't really specify if there's a limit as far as which stat. It just says a random stat. Would be very curious to see how it goes. So, of course, obviously, this is meant for Haru. If I'm correct, though, it should work on Yoon as a noteworthy option because he is a mind character and Earth Kingdom soldier. And I know there are a few other Earth Kingdom units specifically that would be able to use this. I think, not that you really have a very good reason to do this, but ironically, I think the Mind Kyoshi Warrior would actually be able to use this, which is kind of funny. So yeah, very, very interesting effect there. It's got a pretty strict requirement, but if you can meet that requirement, this could put in some work. And finally, we do have a new 4-star in the form of a new Katara alt. This is Prisoner Katara. We have, of course, her basic. Deals erosion damage to all enemies, which decreases focus of the target and reduces the duration of all beneficial effects on the enemy by 1. So, if they have a buff, that's going to expire in 2 turns. She'll reduce that to 1 turn. And I assume if it's 1, she'll just straight up wipe it out. Heal allies affected with a negative effect by 10% of their max HP for each effect present, and then heal rebel faction allies an additional 20%. So basically, kind of trying to screw up the enemy a little bit, and then just being an ally healer. That's very much a a common thing for Katara versions in the game here is she can do some very nice healing. Next, if we take a look at this, now's your chance, her advanced skill. Heal allies for 25% of their max HP. So just a base heal first of all there. Double this amount for Rebel faction allies excluding the caster. Removes all provoking states and inflicts a marked state on the target enemy for 1 turn. This forces allies to attack the target and blocks turn bar increase effects on that target while also just straight up tanking their defense by a nice healthy 60%. So basically, just a mark state on the enemy while healing her allies. Very simple, but very, very effective. And then Fight for Freedom, her passive. Heals all allies for 5% of their max HP when a marked target is attacked. This happens once per turn. And then gain increased resistance for 1 turn at the start of battle. So basically, every time that marked target gets attacked, everybody gets more healing. And then she herself will get that increased resistance, basically trying to kick back anything that's trying to hit her early on. Some things that come to mind are, of course, Avatar Kyoshi and characters who want to get their debuffs out nice and fast. So yeah, very, very interesting 4-star here. She is an outlaw character as well as a rebel and of course a water tribe member. So that is what we're working with here. Like I said, we don't have a lot of outlaw characters that I know of, which is kind of ironic considering how many pirates we have, actually. That's a little surprising. But yeah, so that is what we have here. Of course, it is a standard 3%. 50% is divided between the supports here. We got 1% on Haru and a 1.5% on the Balance of Power relic. And then if we go down a little bit, the new Katara is sitting at a 3%. So very cool stuff there. A very interesting Earthbender character that I'd be very curious to play with. So we will get into that very soon. But that is all we have for today. Our next video will most likely be a summoning event of Haru here. And then I think I am actually going to record actual gameplay of the new area and kind of make that a regular thing to kind of record gameplay for those of you who are curious to see that. But until then, let me know down in the comments below if you noticed anything cool about this video or if you're excited about Haru. Like and subscribe if you have not already, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.